Thailand Post halts U.S. mail. Dozens of countries are joining the suspension. Thailand Post has suspended all outbound mail services to the United States. This includes parcels, letters, and documents, and it took effect on August 22nd. The reason? A sudden policy change in Washington. The U.S. government has eliminated the longstanding de minimis duty-free exemption, which for decades allowed items under $800 to be shipped to the United States without duties, taxes, or complex customs paperwork. This exemption ends on August 29th, 2025, but postal authorities around the world are halting shipments early. They say the new U.S. rules are unclear, inconsistent, and nearly impossible to implement under normal postal systems. Without a framework for collecting duties, handling documentation, and ensuring parcels clear customs, postal networks are simply refusing to take the task. And Thailand is not alone. This is quickly becoming a global disruption. Germany's Deutsche Post, France's La Poste, Italy's Poste Italiane, Royal Mail in the US and the UK, and postal operators in Denmark, Sweden, Belgium, the Netherlands, Spain, Austria, India, Singapore, South Korea, New Zealand, and Australia have all suspended or restricted to the U.S. Their services to the U.S. The situation is widespread, and countries in both Europe and Asia effectively are saying until the U.S. provides a clear and workable process, mail won't be accepted. Now, some nations have carved out limited exceptions. For example, a few postal services are allowing letters and documents or individual gifts under $100, but most have suspended parcels entirely. Thailand Post halt is one of the strictest. Absolutely no U.S. mail is being accepted at this time. It is the first time in modern history that a single U.S. trade policy has triggered such a coordinated shutdown of international postal deliveries. And it shows how one policy decision in Washington can ripple across the entire globe, disrupting families, small businesses, and international communities. All right, so let me just get right into this. What triggered the chaos? On July 30th, 2025, the U.S. government officially ended the de minimis duty-free exemption. For decades, any goods under $800 could be shipped into the U.S. without paying import duties or filing complex paperwork. Starting August 29, 2025, every shipment, yes, even a t-shirt or birthday card, could be subject to duties, taxes, and extra clearance steps. Many postal systems say they haven't received clear instructions on how to handle this. Do they collect duties at the counter? Do they pass it to U.S. Customs? Nobody knows. Instead of being caught in the middle, Thailand Post and others have simply shut their service to the U.S. off until further notice. Now, this isn't just about Thailand, as I said. This is a global problem. Let's list the countries where suspensions or restrictions have been confirmed. Thailand, Singapore, outbound packages are halted, uncertainty over letters. South Korea, major disruptions and suspensions. France, La Poste warned customers of suspension. Germany, Deutsche Post suspending U.S. deliveries. Belgium, Netherlands, Spain, Italy, Austria, various postal authorities have joined. Reports also show disruptions in Hong Kong, Japan, and even Canada, though some are only partial. In short, this isn't one or two nations, it's a wave across Asia and Europe. Now, why it really matters for expats, I mean, let's get real here. For expats living abroad, this could be a nightmare scenario. You can't send personal letters, photos, or documents back home unless you want to pay, and it's quite a bit. Business shipments, small sellers, online shops, Etsy creators are dead in the water. Legal and financial documents. Try sending your notarized papers, banking forms, or passports. You might be out of luck. Now, the cost can skyrocket. Private couriers like DHL, FedEx, and UPS are still running. but the price difference is massive. A $20 EMS parcel might now cost you $120 or more. This isn't just an inconvenience, this really could strangle small businesses and isolate families. Many are calling this the Trump tax because it's part of the current administration's push for protectionist trade policies. And the official line, stop cheap imports from China and protect U.S. manufacturers. I don't think that's really too bright, but the reality is hitting everyone, not just China, but Thailand, Singapore, Germany, Italy, countries that ship everything from documents to small goods. Expats and ordinary Americans abroad are collateral damage. Now, here's what makes this different, and it's not just about the tariffs. Postal systems are not built for customs bureaucracy. They're designed for simplicity. You drop off a letter and it gets delivered. By throwing postal mail into the same bucket as container shipping, the U.S. created a compliance nightmare. That's why dozens of countries have said, we're out, at least until you figure this out. This is unprecedented. The last time we saw this scale of disruption was during World War II. Now, the takeaways are that you're going to have to expect higher cost. You want to use a private courier because that may be your only option. They're not going to be cheap. Number two, you got to plan ahead. If you need critical documents, you got to use DHL and FedEx. Don't wait for Thailand Post to solve this problem because who knows when it'll get solved. Number three, the policy matters. This is just a perfect example of how one government decision can ripple through the entire world and hit ordinary people first. Now, the suspension of U.S.-bound mail by Thailand Post and dozens of other national postal services marks a turn in global logistics. The end of the de minimis exemption was intended to curb cheap imports and protect American industries, but the immediate effect has been confusion, suspension of service, and skyrocketing costs for individuals and businesses. Right now, the only reliable alternatives are private courier companies like DHL, FedEx, and UPS. They continue to operate, but at significantly higher prices and often several times what the postal shipment would cost. For expats, families, and small businesses abroad, this means a birthday card, a legal document, or a small online order could suddenly cost 5 to 6 times more than what it was previously to send. What we are witnessing is not just a postal hiccup, it's a global systems failure. Postal networks were never designed to operate as customs broker. By forcing them into that role overnight, the U.S. has triggered a wave of suspensions and highlighted just how fragile global trade and communication really are. Unless U.S. Customs and Border Protection issues clear procedures and does so quickly, these suspensions may last weeks or even months. For the millions of Americans living overseas and the businesses that depend on cross-border commerce, this is not a small problem. This is a reminder that in today's interconnected world, of one policy change in a country can instantly affect the daily lives of people half a world away. And right now, that reality is being felt by every expat, every family, and every small business that simply wants to send something to the U.S. and can't. All right. So that's all I really have on this subject. We'll be keeping you updated on it, and I'll be following it. All right. That's all I have. So until next time, I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Chokdi Leo Jerkan Mai. It's good luck and see you again. Take care.